Hello again. This is the fourth and final video in the initial series of videos that talks about lasting effects in the four-color hack. I had intended to have this video up earlier, but I didn't. So here we are now doing this. And what I want to look at now is perhaps a somewhat complicated example of what the editor can do with lasting effects, as opposed to one of the writers doing this sort of thing with one of his characters. And so let's start with a setup of some sort. All right, let's say we have a villain. We have a villain who is a carnival-themed villain. And so since I don't have anything else to call him at the moment, we'll just call him Dr. Carney, right? Because he's carnival themed. And Dr. Carney himself is not a physically imposing person. In a fist fight or whatever other kind of fight with your typical level 1 superhero, Dr. Carney's going to get beat up pretty quick. So Dr. Carney does not get into fist fights. He operates through intermediaries and through tricks and traps and deceit and things like that. So let's say that Dr. Carney has one power only, and that power is Carnival of Crime, D16. Oh, my box went away. How depressing. Let me put a 6 there now. D16. Very good. Every now and then, the program that I use to make these videos does something weird like that. And I don't know if it's my fault or what. But anyways, he's got Carnival of Crime, D16. Right? It sounds scary, and it is sufficiently vague that I, as the editor, can use it to justify all sorts of stuff. So Dr. Carney, of course, is headquartered at an abandoned carnival somewhere on the outskirts of town. And our two heroes have tracked him down and are moving in to show Dr. Carney what for, teach him the error of his ways. And so we've got Magma, the fiery extreme athlete over here. And then we've got my son's character, the grim and perilous Dark Avenger. Ooh, scary Dark Avenger. Very good, very good. Two somewhat different characters. Between the two of them, to be honest, Magma's probably the more powerful in a straight-up fight, whereas Dark Avenger, a little more versatile in some respects. And plus, he's not on fire. So he has that going for him. So Magma and Dark Avenger arrive at the abandoned carnival. I set the stage, do some sort of description for a splash page or something to that effect. And then I have Dr. Carney make some sort of evil announcement over the PA system, where he mocks the heroes and gloats about how much better he is than they will ever be, etc., etc. And then he springs his trap. And at this point in time, I'm just as editor, I'm running roughshod over my writers, right? Because, at the end of the day, somebody has to have the final say on things, and that's the editor. I mean, four-color hack is collaborative, but at a certain point in time, collaboration needs to come to an end. So the trap is sprung, and Magma and Dark Avenger, neither of whom can fly, are surprised when the boardwalk or whatever opens up underneath their feet, drops them onto slides, and then deposits them in different locations in a maze. All right. So, and for running roughshod over my players in such a manner, I would of course give them a fortune point, because I'm horrible, but I'm also a nice guy. So at this point in time, Dr. Carney is his Carnival of Crime dice 16 is going to get split. Okay, it's going to get split. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to split this up. So let's look at how this works. Okay, so 1 die 16 gets split into 2 die 12. Okay, 2 die 12. So that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. And then I'm going to split one of those die 12s into 2 die 10. So I've still got 1 die 12, but now I've got 2 die 10 as well. All right. And now I'm going to keep one of those die 10s, right? So I'm going to come down a line. So I'm going to have 1 die 12 plus 1 die 10, and I'm going to split the other die 10 into 2 die 8. And now let me explain you why. Okay, because these are all going to be used to create different sorts of lasting effects. All right, so this is what Dr. Carney's got to work with. Okay, now the 2 die 8, I'm going to divide them up into different threats, one for each hero. So in the portion of the maze that Dark Avenger finds himself in, he is being pursued by Rugged Carnies, right? Rugged Carnies D8. And so the Rugged Carnies D8 would have 5 protection. They would have, I don't know, riot armor, Carney themed or something, whatever that would look like. And they would have 1 to 8 hit points, 1 to 8 hit points. All right, and I would just describe this as a group of people. No need to come up with stats for mooks at this point in time. I could if I wanted to, but not necessary. Not necessary. So there. So then we come over here, and then this D8 over here, magma, you know, spewing fire all over the place and whatnot. You know, the Rugged Carnies, burning Rugged Carnies to cinders, probably not a good idea. So she is going to be facing down giant robot rats in her portion of the maze, and it's still going to be a D8. I mean, mechanically, in terms of game, mechanically, giant robots. Anyways, mechanically, in terms of game mechanics, the giant robot rats and the Rugged Carnies, same stats, but a slightly different threat, right? Narratively speaking, a different threat. Okay, and then on top of that, there's going to be 2 common threats, and that's where the D10 and the D12 come in. All right, so the first one is going to be baffling riddles, right? Dr. Carney is hidden somewhere in the abandoned carnival fairgrounds, and he's confident the heroes can't find him. Matter of fact, he's so confident that the heroes cannot find him that he's going to taunt them with a series of riddles about where he's located. And in all fairness, these are some difficult riddles. Now here's where the lasting effects get a little nebulous. All right, so technically this would have 7 protection under normal circumstances, but this isn't a physical threat. This is something the characters are going to have to overcome through their wits, and base damage. The character's base damage really doesn't fit into that sort of thing, and to be honest, Dark Avenger and Magma don't really have any powers that would necessarily be terribly helpful in this regard. So I'm just going to ignore the protection factor here, and I'm going to say the baffling riddles, excuse me, not rattles, baffling riddles have 1 to 10 hit points, and that the characters are going to use their int as a base damage determinant, and if they succeed in the intelligence check, then by solving the riddle, they do that much damage to the baffling riddles. All right, and in this particular case, to be honest, I would probably you know, pretend I rolled really high on the hit points and whatnot. You know, say I rolled 12 hit points. Don't tell them, right? That way there's some challenge to the riddles, and this is something the characters are going to have to spend an action to do, right? Spend an action to do. If they ignore the riddles, they're not going to be able to locate Doc Carney's secret control headquarters room in the carnival. Then the other part of this, that D10, is the maze itself, right? Because it's a confusing maze. And again, protection doesn't really, I mean, unless the characters are going to start to blast the maze to pieces, then I guess protection might apply. But I'm not going to worry about it. Instead, the maze will have 1 to 10 hit points. I'm going to cheat again and say it has 10 hit points. And then this time, I would let the characters use either intelligence or wisdom as base damage to navigate their way through the maze. So once they've solved all of the riddles by defeating the riddles, they will know where Doc Carney's location is. Once they've defeated the maze, they will be able to navigate the maze as if it's not there. They'll know their way around. They can be reunited at that point in time so they can function as a team again. And in the interim, they're going to be besieged by giant robot rats and rugged carnies, just to keep them on their toes. So in this sense, built in to Doc Carney's character, built into him as a villain in that one part, in that one power, excuse me, there's the potential for an entire scene in the scenario that the heroes are playing in. In any event, I hope this helps. I hope this helps. I'm intrigued by this idea. I have not yet had a chance to put it into play too much in my Sunday Penance Texas game. So hopefully I will get to do something to the players, to my writers and their characters. I'll get to do something like this to them fairly soon. Thank you very much for listening, and have a great day. Bye-bye.